So my mom taught me a lot of things growing up, like don't put your hand on a hot oven. If you eat that entire bag of candy, you're probably gonna get a stomach ache. But like with most things, I never really believed her until I tried it myself. But the most important lesson I ever learned growing up was how to say no. I was told if a guy tried to ask me out or get a little too close or, God forbid, try to slide his hand under my clothes, I was supposed to be clear but be kind, say I'll have to decline. I'm flattered and I really hate to leave you behind, but my husband, my boyfriend, oh, the really tough kind, is a cop or a lawyer, a fighter perhaps. Whatever it was, it scared his hand from my lap. And if that didn't work, I was told to bring a new voice into the conversation, one that carried more weight, because mine wasn't enough to turn down a date. I was taught a lot of other remedies for when no just wasn't enough. Wear a wedding ring at work, make sure you're completely covered, never go out alone, and again, I was given Band-Aids. You know, something to cover the problem from getting worse, but nothing to really fix the problem itself. Again and again, I was told, no matter what, just don't make a scene. Sometimes you'll get burned, but you're lucky to be here. Respect has to be earned. So I worked hard. I made my own way. I worked 3 different jobs all in the same day. I packed up my car on a dream and a whim. And wouldn't you know it, my big break came from him. I spent months perfecting and tweaking my masterpiece, and he said I was talented. Said he wanted to meet up and talk over logistics, and I spent the entire morning talking to myself, perfecting my pitch. I went over my style and my structure and my approach, but he didn't ask me about any of those. Instead, he smirked. Said, I read your work. I think it's great. How about you let me buy you a drink and come up to my room, I'll tell you what I think. His touch made me feel like I was under a black light. And all you could see was the glow of his fingerprints in places they were never invited. His touch was a slug that left a trail that didn't just linger on the surface, it sank into my bones. It sank into my core. It sank into every physical part of me until it had me believing I was nothing more. I carried his touch with me. And soon I started to believe I wasn't the only one who could see it. It's like every single person I met had that same blacklight vision, and once again, the work of his hands was more prominent than mine, even on my own body. Because the question was never, what did he do, or are you okay? It's, what were you thinking dressing that way? Or why drink so much and put yourself in that position? Don't act that way if you don't want that attention. It was never the bruises I bore or the scars that he left. The only thing to debate was the length of my dress. Because the girls say me too, and the guys say not me. But I'm not pointing fingers. I just don't want another Band-Aid. I want a vaccine. I want a new normal. Because it's normal. That's why we don't speak. We're just turned into liars irrationally while everyone's shocked when they turn on TV and they just find it so hard to believe. But I just think back to the time it was me. Because I locked myself in my room and I tried to figure out which pieces of me I'd have to give away to make this never happen again. Give away my joy? Just because I'm bubbly and friendly. Give away my passion? It's the worst in this industry. I picked away every single piece masquerading as a problem until there was nothing left. And I was left with 2 choices. Be treated like nothing or be nothing. Because I saw myself as a fire, and he was a bucket of water. And I tried to shape-shift into any form that he couldn't consume or erode. But one day I woke up and realized I kind of like being a fire. And he started to look a lot more like gasoline. And so I stopped looking for a place I fit in, and I decided to make some room for myself. And when I did that, I met a lot of incredible women doing the same. And then in my inbox slid a pretty familiar name. He said, "Don't forget who believed in you first." And I didn't get a chance to write back because, I've been busy.
Tell him.
But I guess now's as good a time as any.
Let him know.
So I guess what I want to say is, your grip on my waist was strong, but my resilience is stronger. The marks you left on me won't compare to the marks I leave on this world, and I promise they'll last longer. A lot's changed since we last met. Heard you wanted to see me. I think this time I'm gonna pass on the drink. But you can come down to my set. I'll tell you what I think.
Yeah!